So today I'm in the Bonneville Salt Flats right outside of Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm making my way over towards like Colorado now and trying to getting into this next segment of the trip, which is going to be the Southwest. So that's going to be kind of the focus of this week's video, is starting the Southwest segment, getting into the national parks over here, and then also going to see some family in Colorado this week. So I wanted to record outside, but it's a little windy out today. So I'm gonna record in the car instead. So I'm in Colorado now. I'm in the Greeley area visiting my grandparents. I'm staying with them for a couple days, and I kind of needed another reset. So every couple weeks or so, I have to like stop and kind of reset a little bit, get some rest, get some food, get some laundry done, do everything that I need to do to get on to the next part of the trip. And so it was great. Like last night I got to sleep in a bed. It was a flat, nice mattress. That was awesome. And then this morning my grandma made breakfast and coffee and stuff. So that was great, having some homemade food again. And then I'm going to be staying here for a couple days though, get everything done, get everything cleaned up. And then I will be heading off towards Nevada and California, going down into New Mexico. And I also needed to get my car cleaned up a little bit because I drove through the salt flats yesterday, as you guys saw a little bit, and the underneath of my car is just awful. It's like super, super dirty and covered in salt and stuff. And then my windshield in the front of my car is covered in bugs and everything. And so I needed to get a car wash. I also really need a haircut, if you can't tell. It's all like messed up and like long in certain areas and like puffy on the sides and stuff. So I'm gonna go get a haircut as well. That way I look nice and fresh when I go to California and I go to Nevada and I go to all the other places here. Second half of the trip needs a second half haircut. Now your boy's got this nice clean haircut, all shortened up on the sides so there's no more bushiness, and then in the back it's all cleaned up. Got the sideburns all cleaned up. I just got to do the beard later now, but it feels awesome getting a haircut. Every time I get a haircut I feel so like prepared to do new things and like so ready to go. I don't know what it is, but like it just makes you feel very professional. And it turns out that I also needed a new battery for the car. So now I got the new battery in, I gotta go get the oil changed. And after this, I should be done with everything. The car should be reset, ready to go, and then I'll be on my way. And I also didn't have to pay for the battery because I had the warranty on the old one. So now I'm all good to go. I got a free new battery and I'm good to go. Today is my last day in Greeley visiting my family in Colorado here. And my grandparents are making breakfast here. And I'm gonna give it a rating right now because I know that it's gonna be a 10 out of 10 because it's made with love. Now today I'm at the Garden of the Gods over by Colorado Springs. I'm making my way down south through Colorado, and I got a couple more little stops to make, but I'm in the Garden of the Gods today exploring, and I love this place because if you look around, it's just like this really beautiful combination of like reds and greens, and so it just really pops. Like the landscape is really dynamic. I wasn't planning on hiking here, but then I saw some people at the top of this little peak right over there-ish, and I was like, I can do that real quick. So I got my backpack, I'm going on a little hike. Nothing too crazy, but maybe a few miles. I got to the top of where I wanted to get to this little like peak part of these little red rocks here, and it's really interesting. Climbing up the rocks, like the way that they're formed, they got all the cuts and the grooves and stuff in them. And then also when I came up to the top, I saw this big hole down here, and I was like, what? Like there's all rocks around me. This is all rocks. I climbed up all rocks, and then just randomly, there's this hole down here, and you could just slide right down in there. Now I'm at the Great Sand Dunes in Colorado National Park out here. It's kind of my last like main stop in Colorado, but it's really interesting because when I came in back there, it almost feels like you're going, like you're on the beach and I'm walking on the sand towards the water, but instead I'm walking towards these big sand dunes, and then I'm gonna try and hike up one a little bit, see how far I get. It's really difficult walking in this thick sand, but it's really cool to see these big sand dunes next to the mountains, and just like how different all the scenery is in Colorado. Like I started at the north where it's kind of farmy and kind of flat, and then worked my way down towards like the Rocky Mountains and saw the Garden of the Gods with all the red rocks, and now I'm in these big sand dunes. So it's really interesting to see how different all the landscapes are just going down the highway in this one state. So as I was hiking out here, I met this lady named Robin, and she offered to let me try her sandboard. And I was like, I don't know, like I know how to snowboard, but is it kind of the same, or is it going to be like really different? And she was like, no, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. So I tried it, and it was pretty easy. I think if I lived in a place that had access to all this sand, I would try it, like try and get better at it, because it was pretty fun. All right, I'm starting to hike back because hiking on this sand is way harder than walking on literally anything else. And so I went pretty far out here into the kind of like the middle of the dunes. And so now I'm kind of getting ready to go back. I'm getting kind of tired of walking out in the sand here. And who would have guessed that the desert would be so dry? My lips are so chapped, and I didn't think I'd be out here that long, so I didn't bring any water. But whew, it is so dry. And if you think that I forgot about the odometer, then you would be correct, because I did forget about the odometer. But it did reset, so it doesn't say 10,000, but it's 10,798 miles traveled so far. So I officially hit over 10,000, and that's why I got my oil change and stuff. And I'll probably get another like 8 to 10,000 more before I get home. But that's pretty much it for this video. So if you guys did like it, give me a thumbs up, like the video to show me that support. Also, if you're not subscribed already, subscribe to Landshark Lifestyle and check out my Instagram. That's also at Landshark Lifestyle. And you guys know I post a video every Friday. So tune in next week for another video.